Hi everyone. I'm Carl Spector. I'm Commissioner of the Environment. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, and on behalf of Mayor Walsh, I really want to appreciate all the input and all the involvement that you're giving us as we undertake this very important initiative, as part of the climate work that we're doing in the city of Boston. There's some local media here tonight reporting on the events. We appreciate their presence, and I know especially from the North End community and from downtown folks too. They've been calling us for the past couple of years and say, when are you getting to the North End? Because we've got problems here that we want to address and want to talk with you. So. Just a little bit of background. 2.5 years ago, Mayor Walsh released our first Climate Ready Boston report, which was a citywide look at how climate change is going to affect Boston over the next 50 to 100 years, and a framework for taking action to make sure that we're protecting ourselves against the changes that we can expect. This, of course, is a companion to the work that we're doing now under what we're calling Carbon-Free Boston and our Climate Action Plan to reduce our carbon emissions to zero by 2050. But that's another topic, which we're not going to go into detail today, but though I'm very happy to talk about it. We put out our first Climate Action Plan in 2007. We're undertaking our third update this year right now, but it's actually not going to include much about climate adaptation and climate preparedness, because we're already deeply involved in that. And that's what tonight is about. Since the Climate Ready Boston report that we put out in 2016, we've done our first two neighborhood reports. The first one was on parts of East Boston and Charlestown, which is actually done pretty much by the same project team that's we're going to introduce to you later this evening. And then we did South Boston, which the mayor released in October as part of the Climate Ready Boston vision that he presented. The mayor took the work that we had done in the Climate Ready Boston report, the neighborhoods that we'd already covered, and asked us to bring that together into a grand vision that he could present to the Boston community, which is what he did in October. And I'm sure many of you have seen that. Now that's a high-level look with a lot of ideas about how we're tying the climate resilience work into the multiple issues that the mayor is concerned. He wants to make sure that our climate resilience work is connecting to all the neighborhoods in Boston, that as we're creating more green space along the harbor, that is accessible to everyone in Boston, not just to the people who live there, so that it ties the city together, that it spurs economic development, that it's keeping our residents safe, that it's addressing equity issues as they may arise, and that it all comes together into a coherent whole. And part of what we're asking you to do tonight at the various stations in here is to give us input to make sure that the broad community concerns are being reflected in the climate work that we're doing, because the climate work never happens in isolation. It touches everything that we do, and so we need to make sure that it happens in depth. Now, I'm not going to go on. I'm going to go on for about 30 seconds longer, because what we really want tonight to be is to hear from you at the various stations and get all the information and ideas that you have. So I will be here. I'm very happy to talk with you individually all evening, but I'm going to turn it back over to Alicia Pagan, who is the project manager for this project, and she's going to introduce the rest of the project team that is scattered around the room. And let you get on. One last thing before I do that, I want to thank the Bar Foundation for giving us a room here tonight. The Bar Foundation's been a great partner for the city. I'm not sure who else is here, but thanks to them, we have this very nice space to work. So, Alicia.
Cool. Hi everyone, thank you again for coming. So I'm gonna ask for the project team to try to come up here. We really want you guys to get a sense of who we are, who the team is, so that you can talk to us and ask your questions, not just for this open house, but for this project after the open house. We're going to do a quick 30-second brief of who we are, and then I'm going to quickly go over the structure of the open house so you have a sense of the stations, and then kind of give you a sense of what to expect after the open house and what we're moving forward with. Okay. So again, I'm Alicia. I work with the city for the Environment Department for Climate Ready Boston. And you can come to me if you have any questions related to this project, coordination, who to connect with. And I really, really love Christopher Columbus Park, Chinatown, and walking across bridges. And then I want to introduce you to our other team members. So we have Stoss, Kleinfelder, One, Arcadis, Woods Hole Group, and all of them are putting their heads together to really make sure we're building the right solutions and the best solutions for you all. So if we could just kind of boop, 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 go through each person. Oh, Chris.
Sorry. Hey, that's me. Welcome everyone. Thanks. I'm Chris Bush. I'm a waterfront resiliency planner with the Boston Planning and Development Agency. I've been involved with the North End waterfront for many a year. Just love the harbor walk and the views of the water from this area of Boston.
Hello, Joe Cristo. Like Chris, I'm a resilience and waterfront planner at the BPDA as well, also a North End resident. Love the entire neighborhood, but especially Christopher Columbus Park and Martin Day Street.
Hi, I'm Lauren Zingarelli. I work for the city's Environment Department. I was formerly a resident here for 5 years in the North End. I actually got married at Copsail Terrace a year and a half ago. It's really nice. The Parks Department, I cut down that tree and we used the thing as the altar. But yeah, I'm really excited to be back in the neighborhood and working here. I've been with the city for about 3 years doing all the Climate Ready projects, so happy to talk to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Peyton, also with the City of Boston, Green Bay Boston Communications Manager. I'm also a resident at the North End, so I'm super excited about this project. My favorite thing to do here is walk my dog along the waterfront.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Whitesides. I'm the project manager from the design team, and I'm the studio director at Stoss Landscape Urbanism, and was also the co-manager with NASSER, who you'll meet in a second, for the East Boston work, and I'm currently wrapping up work on Moakley Park, for which there is a flyer. We're having an open house next week, so please come. We'd love to see you there. And my favorite spot in the North End is more of a historic event. I'm absolutely fascinated by the molasses flood. But I didn't know that I had options for multiple. I was cheated out of Neptune Oyster is really close to that.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex Marchinsky, and I work with Amy at Stoss Landscape Urbanism, and I've been working with her in the city on Climate Ready East Boston and Charlestown, and also Moakley. And my favorite spot in the North End is Paul Revere Mall. See you at the open house next week.
Hi everyone, I'm Grace Turette. I also work with Amy and Alex at Stoss, and I'm the landscape designer. And yeah, I guess my favorite spot is the mini aquarium because I'm still new here.
Hi everyone, I'm KANANI. I'm also with Stoss, and I worked on the Moakley event as well, so come next week. And my favorite place in the North End is like Hanover Street and trying all the different restaurants in the North End.
Hi, I'm Dani Williamson. I'm with the design team with Plan Architecture and Urbanism. I worked with Amy and Stoss and Kleinfelder and Plan for the East Boston, and we're now working on Moakley Park. And yes, there's an event next week. My selection of as a site was the map room at the Rose Wharf, just because I love to see how the city grew with time and how the land filled, and it also kind of shows where we are now and how is the risk coming up to us, because most of this is landfill.
I also love landfill. I'm Nasser from Kleinfelder. I work on climate change all the time. It can be a little bit depressing sometimes, but I like to find the silver lining in it all. So thanks all for coming.
Hi, I'm Robin. I also work at Kleinfelder, and let's see, my favorite thing about the North End is anytime anyone visits me from out of town, I bring them here right from the airport. It's like the first thing we do, and I love getting pizza from Umberto's and sitting by the water.
And we have a lot more folks working on this. So as you can see, this is a big team with a lot of expertise. We really want you guys to feel welcome to ask us questions, to tap us on the shoulders if you're ever concerned about something. And if there's anybody else that I didn't mention who's in the power room, can you raise your hand just so that people, there's a few folks. Yeah, so there's a lot of people. And then I think there's Mike Woods.
Yes, Representative Michael Woods is here too, so thank you for coming wherever you are and joining the discussion.
It's Olivia Edwards also.
Oh, yeah, Joel, thank you.
And just a couple super quick things. I know this board, it can be a little bit hard to see because there's a lot of people here, which is great, but we'll have to kind of work with each other, get to know each other. Kind of coming where you fit in next, I think it's maybe just important to do a quickly touch on that this is the first of 2 open houses. We'll have another one sort of late May, early June, where we'll be again asking for input from you. We will also be reaching out to many people, many of the neighborhood organizations who are, who already exist and are doing great work in the area. We will be reaching out to you to also have conversations and attending events that you are already having. So the 2 open houses will be the big events, but there will be other times where we will communicate with you and learn more about what you're doing and how we can learn from you and your interests.
Great. Awesome. And with that, please feel free to roam around, check out the different stations. We have the first one, which is about general overview of Climate Ready Boston. The second one, which is about the flooding projections. Third one in the back is about different evaluation criteria and your priorities. And the last one is different opportunities for our various open spaces. So thank you all so much. Hope to continue having conversations with you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.